President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres discussed over the phone the latest developments in the Gaza Strip, including the Egyptian intensified efforts to reach a ceasefire. President al-Sisi and Guterres probed collaborating the international efforts to succeed mediating efforts amid the ongoing dangerous circumstances which necessitate a settlement for the Gaza crisis and an evasion of expanding the circle of the conflict. The details follow.
Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres on Thursday. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said the telephone conversation tackled the latest developments in the Gaza Strip at all levels, including Egypt's intensified efforts to reach a ceasefire. President al-Sisi and Guterres probed collaborating international efforts to succeed the mediating efforts amid ongoing dangerous circumstances which necessitate a settlement for the Gaza crisis and an evasion of expanding the circle of the conflict. They stressed the significance of guaranteeing the flow-in of sufficient humanitarian aid to all parts of the besieged Strip without any obstacles, especially with a collapse of the humanitarian system and the exposure of Gaza citizens to the dangers of famine and epidemics. This necessitates a continuous and full support to the UNRWA agency, which plays a pivotal role in consolidating the Palestinian people. The two sides warned of negative humanitarian repercussions of the ongoing Israeli military operations in Palestinian Rafah, which hinder the transfer of injured Palestinians outside the enclave, as well as the flow-in of humanitarian aid into Gaza. President al-Sisi and Guterres further stressed the significance of working on guaranteeing Palestinians' right to determine their fate through reaching a confession of an independent and sovereign Palestinian state in accordance to international resolutions and legislations, with the aim of controlling an escalation of the conflict, in addition to realizing stability and peaceful coexistence among peoples of the Middle East region.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received the Jordanian Prime Minister Bishr al-Khawasna in the attendance of Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli. Presidential spokesman Ahmed Fahmy said that the Jordanian Prime Minister delivered the greetings of the Jordanian monarch to President al-Sisi and praised the distinguished historical ties binding the two countries. He expressed keenness on boosting joint cooperation at the aim of achieving the ambitions of peoples of the two countries within the framework of the 32nd round of the Higher Egyptian-Jordanian Joint Committee. The spokesman added that the meeting tackled the situation in the Gaza Strip in light of the sincere efforts to reach a ceasefire, exchange the hostages, as well as facilitating the humanitarian aid to the besieged Strip. Both sides expressed concern on the catastrophic repercussions of the Israeli military operations in the Palestinian city of Rafah. The 32nd round of the Higher Egyptian-Jordanian Joint Committee concluded in the new administrative capital, chaired by Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and his Jordanian counterpart Bishr al-Khawasna. The committee was followed by signing of new bilateral cooperation protocols in the media field. At a joint press conference with Jordan's Prime Minister al-Khawasna, Madbouli said that Egypt and Jordan confirmed the support to the Palestinian people to establish an independent state on the borders of 1967. The Prime Minister noted that Egypt affirms opening the Rafah border crossing 24 hours a day, contributing by 80% of the humanitarian aid to the Strip. He reiterated that Egypt exerts the utmost efforts to reach a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. For his part, Jordan's Prime Minister said that the talks affirmed the two-state solution for the Palestinian cause. He stressed that Egypt and Jordan reject any forced displacement for the Palestinians as it liquidates the Palestinian cause. The Central Statistics Agency CAPMAS said that the Egyptian annual urban consumer price inflation rate decreased to 31.8% in April from 33.1% in March. The agency said that the month-on-month prices rose by 1.1% in March, up from 1% in February. Food prices declined in March by 0.9%, though they were 40.5% higher than a year ago. Inflation has been elevated for the past year, driven largely by the rapid growth in the money supply. On the sidelines of the ministerial meetings of the 32nd round of the Higher Egyptian-Jordanian Joint Committee, Minister of Trade and Industry Ahmed Samir met with the Jordanian counterpart Yusuf al-Shamali to discuss means of fostering ties on both the bilateral and the regional levels. Samir praised the bilateral historical strategic ties and stressed the significance of the pillars of partnership between Egypt, Jordan and Iraq in the field of industry, in addition to an integrated cooperation that binds Egypt, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Morocco to expand the volume of trade. And still in Egypt, the stock market indices collectively soared, being bolstered by the purchasing operations by the Arab and the foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index soared 0.05%. The small and medium EGX 70 index added 0.13%. The more expanded EGX 100 index added 0.02%. The overall transactions and dealings within the session reached 18.5 billion Egyptian pounds.